Well, this morning we are following new developments in the allegations involving former Spur Joshua Primo.
ESPN reports Primo was waived after multiple allegations he exposed himself to women. And now we're learning the name of one of those accusers.
Bro, he did what? Man, welcome back to another episode of the Ruling Class Podcast. And of course, I'm your host, Didi, back up in this witch with another video. And listen, if you're new to the show, please know I'm thirsty to grow and to drink some of this water. You can help me out by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. That's all I ask. I'm going to give you a sec to do that to help me out. Appreciate you, man. When you like the videos, it helps push my videos out to other people and puts it into the algorithm. If you're wondering why I'm wearing this jacket, it's because it's a cold, cold world. And today, it got a little bit colder. We're going to be covering a story I feel like hasn't gotten nearly the publicity that it needs to get. Pertaining to this NBA player, this young NBA player who actually just lost his job because he allegedly exposed himself to several young ladies within the organization that he was working at. But we're going to go to the news story to check it out. Let's see what they're talking about.
Well, this morning we are following new developments in the allegations involving former Spur Joshua Primo.
ESPN reports Primo was waived after multiple allegations he exposed himself to women. And now we're learning the name of one of those accusers.
KENS 5 reporter Alyssa Tejas is joining us live now with the very latest out of this here. And Alyssa, this woman used to work for the Spurs?
Good morning, Sarah and Barry. That's right. The Busby law firm confirmed the identity of the accuser yesterday. Her name is Dr. Hillary Cawthon. She was the former Spurs psychologist consultant for the organization. The Busby law firm also confirming that they will be holding a press conference on Thursday. There they plan to discuss the allegations against Primo along with interactions with members of the Spurs organizations and the events that led up to Primo's release. Dr. Cawthon will also be there. She is expected to speak and answer questions. If you remember, Tony Busby sued then Houston quarterback Deshaun Watson after multiple allegations of sexual misconduct. Primo at this time has not been charged with any crime. He is now a free agent in the NBA. 29 other teams in the league had the opportunity to claim the 19-year-old and pay the rest of his contract, but so far they have all declined. He was the 12th pick in 2021 in the first round, and the Spurs owe him $8 million through the 2023-2024 season, although it is possible they could get out of paying him if they do find violations to his contract, although that right now is yet to be seen. After the Spurs let Primo go, he did take to social media saying that he is taking the time to focus on his mental health and is seeking help for some trauma. For more on this and the developing story, go to our website. We have an in-depth story on KENS5.com. For now, reporting from the Northwest Side, I'm Alyssa Tejas, KENS 5.
Wow. Because I want you to just take something into perspective just real fast. This is a young man who is in the NBA. So first of all, you're a part of I think it's like 1% of the point, less than 1% of the population. Yeah, like less than 1% of the population, maybe less than 0.5% of the population makes it to the NBA. Imagine how small of a number of people that is that makes it to the NBA. And then you're making millions of dollars. And you're telling me you've jeopardized all of that for something. Not only did you jeopardize it, but you jeopardized it for something that wasn't even worth it, something that was avoidable. And what I mean by that is, it's bad enough that you're doing this to women, but or to other people, in general. But it's even worse when you're talking about you're doing it as an NBA player. Why do I say that? Because you're an NBA player. You're a professional athlete. There are a lot of women out there that will just throw themselves at you just because of the money, just because of the status you have. So the fact that you're feeling like you have to do that means that there's something else mentally going on. And for a lot of you out there, you may not know, but one of my degrees is in psychology. So when I see something like this and I take a lot of the context into consideration, being that he's a successful basketball player, being that he's making a lot of money, and he's in the position that he's in, but he's still doing this, it tells me that there's something more there. Listen, this video won't even be that long. The purpose of this video is really for me to speak to my so-called black young men out there, even black men, so-called black men in general, older and younger. This can be pertaining to any race of people, but I want to specifically talk to so-called black men because in the so-called black community, what people don't understand is mental health is not talked about a lot for a lot of families, but in the so-called black community, it's really, really bad. It's really bad, right? It's not just that men are told to suck it up and be tough, but it gets even worse than that, because when you deal with certain things or you go through traumatizing situations as a child, you're not taught, you're not educated on how to properly handle it, you know, or how to properly respond to certain things that you experience. You don't learn through other people's experiences, because they don't go to counseling, they don't see people, they don't seek help, and you're not taught by them as far as like what they're teaching you either verbally. So it gets really bad, and it creates this cycle, this very toxic cycle that can lead to very heinous acts. Things like this, because it's not sounding like the young man is denying what happened, but I don't know all the details, so I'm not accusing him. I know it's alleged right now, but I just want to say, please take care of your mental health. Go see counselors. Please do not think or feel like it is a bad thing, or you're weak, or you're any less of a man by going to talk to people. This goes for my women too. You know, please go see someone if something has happened to you, if you've experienced things. And this is very unfortunate. I'm glad that he's already acknowledged that he needs to get his mental health addressed, and he's taking the necessary steps, and I hope that he's actually doing that. And I want to just use it as an example to say, please, for all of you out there, but especially my so-called black men, if you're dealing with something, if you're struggling, go see somebody, go talk to someone. You know, it can be fixed. You know, you never know how easily it can be fixed. You don't have to spend years struggling with something. You're not alone in this. Don't ever feel like you're alone. And this is a great example, because not only did he lose a lot of money, but he could potentially do jail time. He could have, you know, who knows what he did to these other people, these women he exposed himself to psychologically, right? So again, this is something that could have been avoidable, but it looks like something wasn't treated along the way. He made it to the NBA, and now it's kind of acting itself out through his actions, you know? And it's very unfortunate. So that's pretty much I have all on this topic. Until next time, peace.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.